Tonight, new updates on the COVID-19 testing, the Clemson, South Carolina 40th Annual Blood Bowl, and the Chiefs' 9-0 record comes to an end, all here on Clemson News Now. Thank you for joining us. I'm Reagan Carey.
And I'm Mara Kane. We've got a packed show for you tonight, so let's get started. As flu season rolls around, and it seems like everyone you know is sick, the FDA has recently approved an at-home test kit that tests for both COVID-19 and the flu.
According to the FDA, the test can detect the two most common flu strains, types A and B. The test kit does not require a prescription to purchase and works just like the standardized COVID test. The nasal swab is included, and by detecting proteins from both COVID and influenza A and B, results are displayed in just 15 minutes for a quick and efficient way to stay ahead of the game. The test is able to be used outside of emergency use authorization, which keeps high-risk people safer in the comfort of their own homes. It can be used by anyone over 14 years old, but also can be used for children 2 and older if administered by an adult.
Doctors have been applauding this new test, and the FDA claims that the accuracy rates are excellent, showing well over 90%. The tests are available at local pharmacies, and citizens around the U.S. are encouraged to get tested if they're feeling under the weather or have been in close contact with someone who has been sick.
It's been a tough week as a Kansas City fan, as the Chiefs picked up their first loss of the season this past Sunday against the Buffalo Bills, ending their 9-game winning streak. Although the Chiefs' season has appeared dominant on paper, many feel that the recent loss has been around the corner for quite some time. Up to this point, the Chiefs have had 7 narrow victories where they've only led by 1 score. However, their showdown against the Bills was strikingly different than their games so far.
The Bills outgained the Chiefs by over 100 yards and refused them the lead in the entire second half. According to a tweet from radio host Darren Smith, Chief owner and CEO Clark Hunt was angry with the loss, which many fans believe is due to the way that the Chiefs performed on the field on Sunday night, rather than the loss itself. Taking a different approach, Chiefs quarterback Patrick Mahomes responded to the loss in a collective manner, saying that the undefeated thing was cool, but that's just not our ultimate goal. Mahomes was acknowledged by the Bills as a strong team this season and hopes that the loss will serve as fuel going forward, causing them to play with a sense of urgency to avoid scraping by with the narrow victories going forward.
Turning to some sports news right here at home, Drew, how are the Clemson Tigers looking this week?
Well, Reagan, it's been an exciting week in Clemson sports. From the field to the court, our athletes have been in action, giving us plenty to cheer for. Let's dive into all the highlights, starting with men's soccer. The Tigers continued their outstanding season with a hard-fought 3-2 victory over the California Golden Bears in the ACC semifinals. Junior forward Tyler Tribnall, who has been in spectacular form this season, notched his 6th goal of the year. In addition, junior Alex Meinhardt and freshman Ransford John each added a goal of their own, showcasing the team's offensive depth. However, the ACC championship against Wake Forest proved to be a heartbreaker, as the intense match ended in a 1-1 draw after extra time, but the Tigers fought valiantly, but ultimately the game was decided by penalty kicks, where Wake Forest emerged victorious with a 7-6 edge. Despite the loss, Clemson's performance throughout the tournament has been nothing short of inspiring. The Tigers are set to square off against the winner of Bucknell versus Providence on Sunday night in the 2nd round of the NCAA tournament. As for football, the Tigers face the Pittsburgh Panthers in a high-stakes showdown on Saturday, November 16th. The game was a real thriller, with Clemson clinching a clutch 24-20 victory. Junior quarterback Cade Klubnik delivered the game-winning play with a sensational 50-yard touchdown run in the final minutes. This win marks an important step as the Tigers head into a crucial final stretch of the season. Turning to the hardwood, the men's basketball team faced a challenging matchup against Boise State on Sunday, November 17th. The Tigers came up short, losing 71-84 Clemson's leading scorer, graduate student Chase Hunter, dominated the first half, putting down 20 points on 8 of 10 shots from the field. The veteran point guard continued his impressive performance throughout, finishing with 30 points and 6 assists. The loss is a setback, but the team is already focused on making adjustments for their next game. For women's basketball, the Lady Tigers took on number 1 seeded South Carolina Gamecocks in a tough matchup. This game ended in a 45-74 point loss, but there were still positives to take away. Graduate student Loyal McQueen went 6 for 6 on free throws and put down a 15-point game for the Tigers. The team remains determined to keep improving as they move forward in their season. On the volleyball court, the Clemson women's volleyball team had a stellar week with 2 big wins. They outlasted Boston College in a thrilling 5-set match, winning 3-2. Senior Isaiah Daly shined with 7 total kills and a 2.94 hit percentage. The Tigers also dominated Syracuse with a clean 3-0 sweep. Freshman Nia Maria Yoki had 2 blocks along with 3 kills and a hitting percentage of .6. Clemson had 4 aces in the second set, 2 of which coming from redshirt sophomore Maggie Patterson. These victories provide a big boost to the team's standing and morale. Tigers, our athletes, continue to make us proud all across sports. From the field to the court, whether it's dramatic wins or valuable lessons in defeat, Clemson's teams are certainly giving us plenty to celebrate. Back to you, Mara.
On Monday, November 18th, President Joe Biden authorized Ukraine to use U.S.-supplied missiles to strike deeper into Russia. This was in response to Russia actively deploying thousands of North Korean troops to reinforce the ongoing war. Strikes are not made with words, Ukrainian President Zelensky said in his nightly video address.
Zelensky has been pressing Biden for months to allow Ukraine to strike Russia with Western-supplied missiles, saying the U.S. ban made it impossible for Ukraine to try and stop Russian attacks. Biden had remained opposed as he wanted to stop any escalation that he felt could draw the U.S. and other NATO members into direct conflict. North Korea has provided as many as 12,000 troops to Russia to help them get back land seized by Ukraine. In light of the results from the election, former President Trump has signaled that he could push an agreement between Ukraine and Russia to find an end to this conflict.
South Carolina residents are going bananas after reports on Monday morning detailed that 6 of the 43 monkeys that escaped from the Alpha Genesis facility in Yesme, South Carolina, are still on the loose. Majority of the recovered monkeys, kept for breeding purposes, have been found in good condition, according to facility workers. The monkeys that have returned to the compound have been welcomed with a homecoming meal of peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, as well as their favorite biscuits.
As for the worker responsible for the lack of security in the monkey's enclosure, it appears that she has walked off the job with no intentions of returning, after being told she was in danger of termination. Alpha Genesis and public officials have advised anyone who sees one of these monkeys to stay away, as the monkeys may scatter, making them harder to locate. As the hunt for the remaining 6 continues, we'll keep you updated with all the latest monkey business.
We now turn to our weather department with all updates on the local weather. Jose, what's the weather looking like in Clemson this week?
Well, Mara, the cloudy skies and cool winds will continue through most of this week as the winter begins to roll in. Monday and Tuesday will be partly cloudy with temperatures in the high 60s and the low 30s. The beginning of the week will also see winds reaching up to 11 miles per hour. As the week progresses, the temperatures will slowly drop going into the weekend. Saturday and Sunday will see temperatures stay between the high 30s and the low 50s, and winds up to 7 miles per hour. As for rain, only 2 days are expected to have any downpour, those being Thursday and Sunday. So Tigers, make sure to grab your coats, hold on to your hats, and have a great Thanksgiving break. Now back to you, Reagan.
It's rivalry season, Tigers. Late November is an exciting time of the year where the University of South Carolina will be rolling into Tigertown for the biggest rivalry game in the state. While we have full faith in our football team, there's a way students at the university can get involved in the matchup too. The 40th annual Blood Bowl kicked off Monday, November 18th ahead of the Palmetto Bowl and lasts until Friday the 22nd.
The Blood Bowl features a week-long blood drive all around the Clemson and South Carolina campuses, allowing students to donate blood for local hospitals and life-saving procedures. The Tigers have held the title for most donations for 5 years in a row and look towards earning their 6th. The Blood Bowl has collected over 170,000 pints of blood and is now one of the largest blood drives in the country. Last year, both schools collected a total of 7,014 pints of blood, saving 21,042 lives. Those who participate receive a special t-shirt designed by the Tigers and Gamecocks, as well as $30 in gift cards.
That just about wraps up this episode. Be sure to tune into next week for all your news nationally to locally. I'm Reagan Carey.
And I'm Maura Kane. Clemson News Now.